The first time Kaya Stone said those words, they didn't sound real, not even to her. The office was silent except for the low hum of computers and the distant city traffic rising 13 floors below. She stood there in the dim haze of 3 p.m. sunlight pouring through her glass windows, a woman who built an empire from nothing, suddenly asking a question she never imagined saying out loud. "I want a baby. Can you help?" It wasn't business, it wasn't negotiation. It was a plea, a confession, a vulnerable crack through the steel walls of a woman who never asked anyone for anything. Across from her, Milo's heart froze, gripping the frayed strap of his weathered messenger bag, eyes widening, heart pounding so loudly he could hear it. He opened his mouth to speak, but all that came out was disbelief. "I'm going to be a father," he whispered, and in that moment the world seemed to tilt, like life itself had chosen a different road without asking first. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and unexpected blessings, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Bright Hearts right now. It truly helps the channel grow and reach more people who love emotional stories. Kaya had never planned for motherhood. She had built Stone Technologies from a cluttered apartment floor with nothing but one old laptop given to her by a neighbor and a dream she refused to surrender. She became a CEO by 28, a multimillionaire by 32, and by 35, she had everything people envied, except the one thing that kept whispering at the edges of her quiet nights. Family. A laugh in the kitchen that didn't fade, a presence in the house that didn't vanish when work emails stopped. She tried dating, but every man she met wanted her success without her strength. They wanted her money without her mission. They wanted her, but smaller, softer, easier. So she stopped letting herself want anything at all, until life brought Milo into her office one rainy Tuesday he would never forget. Milo Hart had never been in a high-rise building like this. He worked as a freelance systems analyst, juggling jobs so he could be home early every day for his 8-year-old daughter, Haven. She was bright, artistic, and walked through life with a quiet wisdom most adults never reach. Haven's mother had passed when she was a toddler, cancer taking away the woman Milo thought would be his forever. Since then, it had just been the two of them. Milo was tired, but he carried his exhaustion like a badge of honor. He believed giving Haven a safe childhood was worth every sleepless night and every missed opportunity. He wasn't looking for anything more. Just stability, bills paid on time, and a chance to keep breathing without fear of losing something again. When Kaya offered him a full-time position, he expected long hours, intense deadlines, maybe bonuses if he proved himself. He never expected her to ask for a child, never imagined she would want him to help raise one. Not because of romance, not because of a relationship, but because she saw something in him she trusted. Something solid, something good. Kaya wasn't asking for marriage or even love. She was asking for partnership, for guidance, for someone who had already been a father to teach her how. She wanted the stability Milo lived every day. She wanted the warmth she saw in how he spoke about Haven. She wanted a family without losing herself. It was the most unusual proposition either of them had ever stepped into, and yet, neither walked away. Their arrangement began slowly. Kaya invited Milo and Haven to the company picnic 2 weekends later. That afternoon sunlight was golden, stretching across the grass, catching the laughter of children and the smell of barbecue. Kaya watched Haven paint faces for younger kids, her tiny fingers gentle and steady, her eyes sparkling when they thanked her. Milo leaned against a fence, arms crossed, watching his daughter the way only a parent can, both proud and terrified of how fast time moves. Kaya saw it, and something inside her loosened. A life she didn't even know how to imagine began forming at the edges of her thoughts. Still, challenges came quietly at first, then all at once. Headlines started spreading. Unmarried CEO planning child with employee? The board questioned her judgment. Colleagues whispered behind closed doors. Even her sister accused her of making emotional mistakes that would ruin everything she worked for. Trust did not come easily in Kaya's world. Vulnerability meant weakness, and weakness meant being replaced. Milo became her anchor through those storms, reminding her to breathe, reminding her that real life doesn't happen on magazine covers. It happens in living rooms filled with crayons and half-finished puzzles. Meanwhile, Haven struggled to understand what was happening. One evening, while Milo cooked spaghetti in their small kitchen, she tugged at his sleeve and asked, "Dad, Is this going to replace Mom? Milo's heart cracked open. He knelt on the floor and held her, smelling paint and shampoo, and childhood still safe for now. No, he whispered against her hair. Nothing replaces love. Sometimes it grows again in a different way. That night, he called Kaya and asked her to meet them for ice cream. At a simple corner shop under fluorescent lights, Kaya sat across from Haven and listened to every question she asked. And when Haven said, "I don't know how to feel," Kaya replied, "You don't have to yet. Just be yourself. That's enough today." From then on, Haven started drawing Kaya into pictures she made at school. Not as a mother yet, but as something new forming slowly, quietly, beautifully. Months passed. Tests, doctor visits, paperwork, late-night conversations, and fears no one wanted to admit out loud became part of life. One rainy afternoon, Kaya showed up at Milo's door shaking, holding a paper in her hands. She was pregnant, and suddenly everything became unbearably real. Milo felt joy and panic crash together inside him. He thought of diaper bags and bank accounts and broken hearts and new beginnings all at once. Kaya cried for the first time where someone could see. Milo wrapped his arms around her without thinking, emotional earthquakes passing through both of them. They weren't lovers, not yet. They weren't a traditional couple, but they were becoming family, something deeper than labels could explain to as her body changed. Kaya faced endless judgment. Rumors multiplied in conference rooms. Investors doubted her focus. Friends quietly stepped back. She discovered who cared for her and who only cared for her success. Milo stayed. Haven stayed. Small moments began to fill cracks she didn't know were there. Evenings where the three of them watched movies on a sagging couch. Saturdays at farmers markets. Doctor appointments where Milo held her hand when she feared hearing bad news. Haven talking to Kaya's belly, telling stories and secrets like tiny seeds of hope being planted. Then came the night everything almost fell apart. Kaya went into labor early. Too early. Milo drove through rain so heavy the world looked blurred. Haven praying softly in the back seat. Machines beeped. Nurses rushed. Doctors spoke in tones that tried to hide fear. Kaya squeezed Milo's hand so hard he thought it would break. Hours stretched into eternity. Every breath a battle. Every minute a cliffhanger. Milo whispered, "I'm here. I'm not going anywhere." And somewhere between pain and exhaustion, Kaya whispered back, "Don't let me do this alone." He didn't. When a tiny cry finally filled the room, it sounded like forgiveness. Like healing. Like something lost finally coming home. A baby boy, small, fragile, perfect. Kaya wept. Milo wept. Haven held her father's arm and whispered, "Welcome to the world, little brother." Weeks later, they sat together on Kaya's living room floor, surrounded by scattered blankets and soft light. They hadn't figured out what to call themselves yet. They didn't need to. They were a family, unusual but real. Kaya looked at Milo, and in her tired eyes was gratitude older than words. "I asked you for help," she said softly. "But you gave me more than that. You gave me a life." If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Bright Hearts. It truly means everything to keep bringing you emotional, uplifting stories. And now, as sunlight filtered through curtains and a baby slept peacefully nearby, Kaya Stone, Milo Hart, and little Haven sat quietly, hearts full, lives changed. There were no perfect answers, no neat labels, no flawless plans. Just love taking shape in unexpected ways. And sometimes, that is enough to build a future.